From ancient mythology to modern-day culture, stories of ghosts have fascinated people for centuries. Nearly every culture and religion has its own interpretation of what ghosts are and how they manifest in our world. In some cultures, ghosts are believed to be the spirits of the dead who have unfinished business on Earth, while in others, they are seen as malevolent entities seeking to cause harm. Join us on a journey as we explore the fascinating world of ghosts, their different manifestations across cultures, and the unexplainable stories of their sightings and encounters. The ancient Egyptians had a complex and fascinating belief system when it came to ghosts. They believed that the soul or spirit of a deceased person, called the Ka, would journey to the afterlife after death, but that the Ka could also return to the living world as a ghost. According to Egyptian beliefs, the Ka was an essential part of the deceased's identity, and it needed to be preserved through mummification and ritual practices to ensure that the individual could enter the afterlife. However, if the proper rituals were not performed, the Ka could become restless and wander the earth as a ghost, causing trouble for the living. The ancient Egyptians also believed in a variety of supernatural beings, some of which could be malevolent ghosts. For example, the demon Abizu was believed to be responsible for causing miscarriages and infant mortality and was sometimes depicted as a female ghost or demon. In addition to these beliefs, the ancient Egyptians had a rich tradition of ghost stories and ghostly encounters. One well-known example is the story of the ghost of Nebuzmik, a scribe who died during the reign of Ramesses II. According to legend, Nebuzmik's ghost haunted the temple of Amun at Karnak, causing trouble for the priests until a wise magician was able to banish the ghost. Overall, the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about ghosts were complex and deeply intertwined with their ideas about the afterlife and the importance of preserving the Ka. The Chinese also have a long history of beliefs about ghosts, which are deeply rooted in their religious and cultural traditions. In Chinese folklore, ghosts are believed to be the spirits of deceased individuals who have not yet moved on to the afterlife. Unlike in Western cultures, where ghosts are often portrayed as terrifying and malevolent, Chinese ghosts are often seen as being sad, lonely, and in need of help to move on to the afterlife. One of the most significant beliefs about ghosts in Chinese culture is the idea of ancestral worship. Ancestors are believed to continue to play an active role in the lives of their descendants, and offerings are made to them to ensure their continued well-being and protection. In addition to ancestor worship, there are also many different types of ghosts in Chinese folklore, each with their own unique characteristics and behaviors. For example, the hungry ghost is a type of ghost that is said to have a massive mouth and a tiny throat, making it impossible for them to satisfy their hunger. Hungry ghosts are believed to be tormented by their cravings, and offerings are made to them during the ghost festival to appease them and prevent them from causing trouble. Another famous Chinese ghost is the jiangshi, which is a type of zombie or vampire that is said to hop around and attack living beings to absorb their life force. Jiangshi are often depicted as being dressed in traditional Chinese clothing and are believed to be created when a person dies suddenly or violently. Overall, the beliefs about ghosts in Chinese culture are diverse and deeply ingrained in their religious and cultural practices.
The ancient Greeks had a rich mythology that included a wide variety of supernatural beings, including ghosts. In Greek mythology, ghosts were often seen as the spirits of the dead who had not yet passed on to the afterlife. They were often portrayed as being sad and mournful and were believed to haunt the living world until they could find peace. One famous Greek ghost story is that of the ghost of Clytemnestra, the wife of King Agamemnon. According to legend, Clytemnestra was murdered by her own son, Orestes, after she killed her husband. Her ghost was said to haunt the palace of Mycenae, where the murder took place, until Orestes was finally able to find peace and lay her to rest. In addition to these myths, the Greeks also had a complex belief system surrounding death and the afterlife. They believed that the soul or psyche of a person continued to exist after death and would journey to the underworld, where it would be judged by the god Hades. Depending on the judgment, the soul would either be sent to the Elysian fields or to Tartarus, a place of punishment for the wicked.
In Hinduism, ghosts are believed to be the souls of deceased individuals who have not yet been properly laid to rest or who have unfinished business in the material world. They are often seen as restless and vengeful, seeking to settle old scores or seeking justice for past wrongs. There are many different types of ghosts in Hinduism, each with their own unique characteristics and behaviors. One of the most famous types of ghosts is the bhoot, which is believed to be the ghost of a person who has died a sudden or violent death. Bhoots are said to be particularly dangerous and are often depicted as being vengeful and malevolent. Another famous type of ghost in Hinduism is the pret, which is the ghost of a person who has died from starvation or neglect. Prets are believed to be particularly restless and are often said to wander the material world in search of food or attention. In Hinduism, there are many rituals and practices designed to help ghosts find peace and move on to the afterlife. These include offerings of food and prayers to the ancestors, as well as performing certain rituals to help the ghost find peace. Overall, the beliefs about ghosts in Hinduism are deeply rooted in the religion's complex beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife. They are seen as a powerful and potentially dangerous force, and are treated with respect and reverence by many Hindus. In Buddhism, the belief in ghosts is tied to the concept of reincarnation and the cycle of birth and death. It is believed that when a person dies, their consciousness continues to exist and is reborn into a new form. However, if a person has strong attachments or unresolved emotions at the time of their death, their consciousness may become trapped in the material world as a ghost or spirit. In Buddhism, ghosts are generally seen as beings who are trapped in the cycle of birth and death and are unable to move on to a higher state of existence. They are often depicted as being in a state of suffering and confusion, and are believed to be constantly seeking release from their state of existence. There are many different types of ghosts in Buddhism, each with their own unique characteristics and behaviors. For example, the hungry ghost is a type of ghost that is said to be consumed by intense cravings and desires, but is unable to satisfy them. These ghosts are often depicted as having a small mouth and a bloated belly, representing their insatiable hunger. In Buddhism, there are also various practices and rituals designed to help ghosts find peace and move on to a higher state of existence. These include making offerings of food and other items to the spirits, as well as performing certain rituals and reciting prayers. Overall, the beliefs about ghosts in Buddhism are closely tied to the religion's emphasis on the cycle of birth and death and the importance of achieving release from suffering and attachment. Ghosts are seen as beings who are trapped in this cycle, and are viewed with compassion and understanding by many Buddhists.